Mario Mitchell. I got Bruce Hamilton that's about to pop on the screen. There we go. We're representing Mech Ventures today. We're both general partners over there. I'm actually going to let Bruce kick us off right now.
Great. I just want to start by just thanking everyone for being here today, and a special thank you for Millennial Mogul for having us. It's a great platform for entrepreneurs and professionals of color. So I'm really happy to be here today and to tell you a bit about Mech Ventures. So we're a brand new venture capital firm investing in the future of pop culture. We're an early stage fund looking to invest in pre-seed and Series A. We look for innovative startups all over the world, not just Los Angeles, Silicon Valley, or New York. And this strategy allows us to find founders of all walks of life that are building game-changing ideas and building dope companies.
All right, so I'm sure you're asking yourself why pop culture and what is pop culture? The definition of pop culture is the set of practices, beliefs, and objects that embody the most broadly shared meanings of a social system. It includes media objects, entertainment and leisure, fashion and trends, linguist conventions, and among all other things. We chose pop culture because what is life without pop culture? I would imagine it would be mundane and pretty boring. We truly believe pop culture drives the evolution of society, makes life exciting, and overall it brings people together. We want to invest in companies that are creating the next big wave of pop culture.
So who we are. So we started as entrepreneurs, operators, armed with the internet and a diehard love for hustle and pop culture. We've turned our passions and struggles into a global creative engine that not only has no boundaries, but we're redefining venture capital as we know it. Most importantly, we represent pop culture. As serial entrepreneurs ourselves, we understand the struggles of being a founder, and we pride ourselves on being founder friendly and doing everything we can to help our portfolio companies scale, whether it be helping find product market fit or helping with branding and marketing strategies.
We also pride ourselves on being entrenched in the culture. The face of entrepreneurship has changed, and Mech Venture wants to represent these founders. Our mission is to invest in the next generation of leaders and with high yield returns, solving complex problems, and provide an ecosystem to support those founders. Mech Ventures will provide equal opportunity to funding to founders, regardless of the ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation. We're interested in innovative projects that are pushing culture forward.
So a little bit about ourselves. My name is Bruce Hamilton. I'm one of the general partners at Mech Ventures. I've been a serial entrepreneur for quite some time now. Kind of a little bit about my journey of how how I got into venture capital. I had a whole previous life in the music industry where I briefly worked at Live Nation, worked at Sony Music as an A&R at Epic Records, where I had the opportunity to work with acts like Travis Scott and Fifth Harmony. And I also owned a talent management company called Samurai. We represented artists, songwriters, producers. And then from then, I made a complete 180 shift into tech. I believe it was back in 2017 where I launched my first tech company called CrowdBoost. It was a social media marketing platform. We had a very good run with that. And then I'm also currently the founder of Wing Zero Apps, which is a no-code app development platform and agency. And so it's been a very interesting shift to come over into venture capital because I consider myself a creative, and I wanted to help founders I want to work on these many different ideas. So I was always like, I'm one person, I only have the bandwidth to do so many things, and so I realized venture capital allows me to help all these different founders that are working on like just some incredible companies. So that's how I shifted into venture capital.
So I'm on the opposite side of that. So I actually spent majority of my career in the military. So I was a combat veteran. So I did pararescue for 8 years. After I got hurt, I actually switched over to Air Force Innovation, which is called AFWorks. So I actually ventured around innovation for the last 6 years of my life. Um, Transitioning forward, I actually transitioned out the military and started my own small marketing business called Blue Ace Marketing, which we were acquired um, pretty much head on. I've always worked with helping people build their businesses, so I have a soft spot in helping other veterans like myself really pick up and learn how to become their own bosses, how to really take hold of their future because there's some real careers outside the military. Fast forward to where I started my second business, which was a coding school, and I realized how tough it was for me being a young Black founder trying to raise funding for that. So after I got acquired there, I actually decided to do a little bit more on the side of helping other people not have to encounter all those barriers. And I met Bruce, and we pretty much put our heads together to try to create something that embodies both what we believe in, which is the future is culture, and we created Mech Ventures, and we're hoping to help educate and be hands-on with the people that we come in contact with.
So we're currently looking for portfolio companies as we're starting to deploy capital from our first fund. Actually, our first investment is currently in stealth mode, so we're actually really excited for the launch of that company. Um, our initial investment check size is between 50K to 100K, with a possible follow-on check between 100 to 500K. Some of the industries that we're looking at include AR, VR technology, gaming, esports, music tech, I'm sorry, and blockchain technology. But we consider Mech Ventures to be industry agnostic. So we're actually just looking for any companies that fit within our investment thesis of investing in the future of pop culture. So it doesn't have to be within the industries that I previously stated.
So we're really excited to learn more about what you all are building. You can learn more about Mech Ventures at Mech.Ventures, or follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's literally Mech Ventures, Mech VC across the board. And just know that we do believe that the future is pop culture. That's anything that's pushing needle of innovation forward. And that's kind of what we embody as we go on our journey. And we're looking forward to really working with a lot of you in the future. So we're gonna actually open up to some Q&A to keep things rolling.
Appreciate the breakdown, fellas, for what you have going on at Mech Ventures. Of course, we have a couple questions that people have upvoted on in the Q&A section, folks. Again, if you got any questions, put them in there, and make sure you upvote questions that you may not have asked yourself, but you seem like are relevant to the conversation. We'll dive right into it, Mario and Bruce. The first one up, most highly voted, is a question we actually took in advance from a few founders that chimed in. I read that you have a rolling fund. Could you describe what exactly that is, and how is it different than some of the traditional funds that we all hear about in venture capital?
So I wouldn't necessarily we're doing a rolling fund. We're taking aspects of the rolling fund. So what we are doing, because we're actually still raising around, but we have our initial commitments investment already in, so that we can deploy capital immediately. So how we're working is we're doing rolling closes, which will allow us. So basically, we're going to do monthly closes with our LPs, which will allow us to deploy capital quickly. So typically, how a traditional fund works is you have between 12 to 18 months to fully raise your fund, and then you close from there, and then you start rolling out. So if rolling closes, we can do. We have it set up so that we do it monthly with our LPs, so we don't have to wait the full 12 to 18 months to raise. We can just start deploying capital quickly.
Appreciate that background there, Bruce. Next up, around what are some of the key metrics you're looking at when you're considering the deal, thinking from a quantitative perspective?
So some of the key metrics that we're looking at, obviously, is revenue. That I think every VC firm kind of takes that in consideration, but we're also team oriented as well as founder focused. So ensuring that these founders are really passionate about what it is they're looking to build, because nothing comes from something comes from that passion. So we want to make sure that people are focused on what the mission is at hand, and that pre-revenue, and we're down to like always help people like grow. I think that's the one thing that VC firms want, because the end goal is to help you raise to get acquired down the line, and that's something we want to embody. We just want to take a different approach of how we do that, as in, connecting with the right people without having to charge you for it later on down the line. Make sure that you truly grow, and make sure that you are open to growing with us as well.
Got it. And next up, this one is actually a couple of upvotes just came in last minute or so. So it's shifted in priority. To clarify, the focus that you mentioned, Bruce and Mario, was around pop culture. But are there any specific industries, or are you agnostic to the industry as long as it fits within that pop culture realm?
Yeah, we're generally industry agnostic as long as it fits within that realm of the future of pop culture. So some of the industries we're looking at obviously are AR, VR technology, music tech, gaming, esports, NFTs, social media, the future of work. But as long as it fits within that thesis, yeah, we're pretty agnostic in that respect.
Got it. And next up is pre-revenue. This one from Darian. Is pre-revenue too early for Mech Ventures?
So that's a real good question, right? So even though we focus on revenue, there's times when that pre-revenue could come in different forms, shapes and forms. So that's really a conversation to be had, because we are open depending on how you're looking at what the trajectory is, and if you really fit the mold of that thesis.
Yeah, and we're looking to see, because obviously, a lot of it comes down to just investing in the founder itself. Do we believe that this person or this team can really execute on this vision? So they may not have to have revenue in yet, and obviously a lot of startups don't have revenue coming in. We want to know, do you have your MVP out? Do you have a built-in community? An example that Elizabeth listed was, do you have an email list? We just want to see, do you have some sort, if you don't have revenue, do you have some sort of an audience built in that's ready?
Got it. And I want to elaborate a little bit on that before we move to the next question. You mentioned, we've heard it a couple times today, investing in the person more so than just the business itself. So I guess, are there any traits? What is that intangible that you're looking for when it comes to the founder themselves and whether or not you want to invest in them?
We just want to know they have a clear vision on their, it's a clear vision on their idea, a trajectory. And also a lot of it simply comes down to, is this someone that we are going to want to deal with for the next couple of years? And, it sounds crazy, but yeah, this is someone that, we're going to be doing monthly, weekly calls with. So we want to know this is someone that we can see ourselves working with for the next couple of years. Mara, I know you had something you want to chime in with.
Yeah, so me and Bruce are entrepreneurs first. Like, we have businesses and we've grown them, we've raised, we've done everything across the board there. So really, we're looking at the founders that share those same traits. Like, we don't want someone that's looking at money to sell off tomorrow just because they see an opportunity. I know Bruce and I, we both say the same thing. It's like, we want to make money, but at the same time, we'll make sure that we have the right founders. The right founders is going to give us a better product than someone that wants to cut corners just to make a quick dollar.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate that, fellas, and the transparency. I think that's definitely timely for the founders that are chiming in, just to keep it real, right? Like you said, Bruce, it's okay to keep it real in this instance. In terms of it needs to be somebody, like you said, you want to see yourself, having a relationship with, building a business with. That's a very intimate thing. So it definitely makes sense.
Exactly, because we want to we want to add more than just a check. Like, we want to help you with any strategies that you need help with, whether it be marketing, branding strategies, or helping you get some PR opportunities. We just want to partner with a founder or a team that almost feels like family, and that's what we're building over here. Is something where you not only are just I'm attached with a VC firm. It's like, no, you're with a founder and a crew that's going to have your back down the road.
Got it. Next up, this one's climbed up the charts as well, from Daria. How many companies do you invest in per funding period, and what's your funding period annually or somewhat other based off of that that you mentioning earlier around just you're taking certain attributes from the rolling fund and incorporating them into how you're building for Mech Ventures.
So since we're doing rolling closes, we're pretty much able to deploy capital, as soon as we get money in. The thing that we're looking for that will really notate that number is how many awesome founders we're able to speak to during that period. So that's a hard number to put out there because you may want to fund 20 people that year or may not find anyone. So it really notates on how many people and how many ideas really spark our interest with money we have in doing rolling closes.
Yeah, but to be more clear, there is a 5-year period. So starting from 2022, we have a 5-year investment period.
Got it. Appreciate that, fellas. Next up, from Dana, what is the equity you would look for in your initial investment, and what participation do you want in the venture?
So I would say between, depending on the check size that we cut, because we're going to be doing between 50 and 100K, between 10 to 20%. But obviously, it varies on just where the company is at in terms of their round, and then just kind of figuring out how that works best with us. But in terms of participation, we're not coming in to do a hostile takeover or anything crazy like that. We're just looking to help you along the way any way that we can possibly help you.
Got it. There's a few that are unanswered. What type? I think that we just asked this one, so I'm filtering through them, fellas. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Next up, this one's come up quite a few times. So folks chiming in worldwide here. Do you invest in startups based in Nigeria?
So
we're looking for. Oh, Mario, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Oh yeah, I would say we're pretty open. Like I said, their ideas exist and innovation exists everywhere. So we really don't have any cap limits where we kind of invest, as long as we find the dope founders out there that want to work and move that needle forward.
Are there? I'm curious. Are there any spaces where you feel like you don't get enough pitches, perhaps?
It's crazy. I haven't seen anything in the gaming space, and it's a huge industry, but we have not seen anything come from gaming and esports yet.
Got it. And that's a hot one, I know, Bruce. So
yeah, it's something that I'm really looking at as a gamer myself. I'm really looking to invest in like the next FaZe Clan or 100 Thieves. But yeah, we just haven't come across anything in gaming yet. I would love to, get into that space with someone.
Got it. And then last one we'll be able to get to this person in particular. It looks like it is Alicia asking about the beauty space. Would you be willing to invest in that? It seems like she wants to have a conversation with you on that.
So once again, there's never any bad ideas as long as we can find a correlation to it fits within our thesis of pop culture.
Got it.
So I'm actually gonna throw my email inside the chat too. So feel free to reach out for those things for sure.
Yeah, appreciate that. And then you mentioned just your contact, in closing, if you want to reiterate that, what's the best channel for folks to chime in with you? I see you put that in there, Mario. But just, one last time, let them know, next steps for wanting to have that conversation with Mech Ventures with either Bruce or Mario.
Whichever one of us you feel comfortable contacting us, I'm going to add my email in there as well. But please feel free to contact any of us, and we read every deck that comes. I'm sure a lot of the firms today have told you, we get a lot, so we may not be able to respond to everybody, but we guarantee we read every single deck that comes our way. But also you can visit our site too and apply there from the site, mech.ventures.
Got it.
And we're both
go ahead, Mario.
Twitter. I said we're both active on Twitter as well as at hello@mech.ventures. They go for us as well. So we put everything out there for you to reach out to us.
Yeah, the DMs are open. So just hit us, either email, whatever, just hit us. The DMs are wide open.
Got it. There were a few more questions. I know we got to wrap up, but I appreciate Bruce and Mario just letting folks hey, let's keep the conversation going. I appreciate the transparent, the candid responses from you both. Really impressed with what you both are building at Mech Ventures, and definitely looking forward to seeing how the conversations from this event, what kind of relationships and connections they spark for you both and the folks at Mech Ventures.
Yeah, we're really excited to hear from all of you, and I really appreciate you guys having us here.
Appreciate that, fellas. We are going to wrap up. We're going to move on to our next segment. But before we get into that, I just want to quickly shout out, our partners, our sponsors over at Silicon Valley Bank. Again, they're the leading bank for startups, proudly supporting and providing financial services to startups and companies of all sizes across so many industries. Again, appreciate them for sponsoring the very first Pitch a Founder event, and not just being a sponsor, but a partner as the Mogul Millennial team has built this event out, and the first inaugural case for us. And so in closing, we are going to have Monica, Monica Driscoll, who is the VP of Startup Banking at Silicon Valley Bank, and she's going to share what's going on over there, the different opportunities they're building for startups. Again, in this environment we're in right now. So again, we're going to close out this session here, open it up, and then we're going to kick things off with Monica in the next few minutes.